Hello YouTube, Helen the Russian here. So today's video is a review of all-inclusive Mexican holiday. I've never done all-inclusive before. This was at the insistence of my girlfriend whom I went with. And there were pros and cons, so I'm gonna try to objectively review everything. The package included airfare, hotel, all meals and beverages, alcoholic included, and snacks and room service in Cozumel, but they're all-inclusive packages all over Mexico, so but I want to review Cozumel, the island, as well as part of that whole package. So the package cost us $1,500 each, because we had separate rooms. Now mind, that would have been less if you travel with your spouse or your partner and you just sharing a room and have two double beds in there, but we each had separate room. So let's start from the pros. First of all, of course, it's nice and easy to buy everything. I bought it off Expedia, so they package it all for you. You don't need to worry about anything else. You pay the money and pretty much everything is done, except when you arrive at the airport, you have to pay $25 for your suitcase with American Airlines. See my other video about that thing, don't fly American. And then at the resort, tipping, obviously you tip, and then if you want to do any outside activities, you will have to pay for that as well. So for those of you who generally, and I mean it in, like, take it in the spirit said, if you know you quite enjoy your food and beverage, all-inclusive package by all means is a really good deal and a great idea, because you virtually have nothing to worry about once you arrive there. They have several options. They have all-you-can-eat buffet that's open for several hours for breakfast and then for lunch and then for dinner. There is a little snack bar where you can grab sandwiches, ice creams and coffee. You can order room service. Now mind, the menu is fairly limited and simple for room service, but still you can have it. They also have mini bar is free, and it is, but the mini bar only contains like 2 beers, couple of sodas, and something else. Like, there was no hard liquor or anything. Not that I'm a big drinker, but what I'm saying, it's not the mini bar you picture here in Las Vegas. No, it wasn't like that. And so it simplifies things. However, having said that, personally, I don't eat a lot. Like, I can tell you, these people made a ton of money off of me, because normally, like, generally in the morning, I have 2 slices of whole grain toast and cup of coffee and a bit of a non-fat yogurt prior to that. For lunch, I usually eat a salad that I chop up myself, but doesn't matter, a salad. And dinner, I very seldom go out. So unless I go out, I like to munch on a bit of a seaweed, maybe a little cheese plate, nothing heavy. Occasionally a small meat snack, but that's about it. That's all I ever eat. So these people were not, they were happy with me, I'm pretty sure. So that's a good thing. However, we'll start with the Cozumel, the island, for starters. All the commercial that you see, yes, the surroundings are beautiful, but the island is a bit funny. It's not a very big island. And the side that's facing Yucatan Peninsula, that's facing Cancun side and Playa del Carmen, that's where all the hotels, shops and restaurants are, on that side of the island. And all the beaches, now the beaches is an issue in there. They're all tiny. Like the hotel commercial, they flat out, it was false advertising. If you look, we were staying at Grand Park Royal Cozumel, but it doesn't matter. All the other hotels, because I took a walk all the way through that side of the island, like I walked through, it takes about an hour to do that. And I am here to tell you, the beach was, like in our hotel, was literally 53 steps long. I took it. So, and that's going in a very light semicircle around the water. So it's not even a straight line. So 53 steps. That's all. It's a tiniest little place. And there is no else, and the next beach it belongs to another hotel and you can't go in there, but that one is just as small. And also it's not the sand beach, although they want you to believe it. It's very fine crashed shell. Yeah. So when you arrive in the hotel, First of all, there is attempt at hard sale at the the timeshare. Yeah, they grab you right off the front desk once you finish checking in, and they, under the guise of giving you good advice about the island, they try to book you for the very next morning for that, they call it free breakfast. But remember, our package is all inclusive. Our breakfast is, technically free anyhow. We're getting it. And they want to sell you timeshare, and I used to sell real estate. I didn't go for it, but I could see these people. There are a lot of representatives for the timeshare, and once you went to that meeting, even, obviously a lot of people don't buy anything, they'll chase you around the property constantly, trying to, again, under the guise of giving advice, asking if you need help, but they won't leave you alone, which is not what I want on a holiday. I work with public all the time. When I go on a holiday, I kind of want to not to talk to anyone really, if I can. Anyhow, so there is that. So, and then they tell you, oh, but there is this beautiful beach, you can just take a taxi, and taxi will cost you 200 pesos, which you think, okay, that's about $15. And then you arrive there, and those beaches, they charge money to enter. You have to pay anywhere between $15 to $55. Like the first one we went to, which we were told, Mr. Sanchez, it's called, the beach, Mr. Sanchez. The guy wanted $55 US. No, we weren't going to pay that, so we went to the next one, and they wanted $20 each. We forked over for that, and that's just to have a space, like, there is an umbrella and the chase lounge, the plastic chase lounge, but that's all. That's all you get, and you have to. Yeah, you can negotiate, and they'll include like a snack and one drink into that price. Or they say, oh, but you can use all those inflatable things in the water. Well, I don't use them. So, yeah, and I thought it was, we done it once, and it was a ripoff. I felt it was a ripoff. So, on the property, hotel, this particular, and also, like I said, all the hotels along the way, you have to be very careful that small beach. In some of those hotels, one I went into that's closer to actual center of the city, that looked like it was a posher hotel, like more high-end. That where we were staying, they don't have any beach at all. They're overlooking the ocean, but all it is different levels of regular pools. They don't even have any beach. I'm sure they show that view of the water in their commercials, and people assume that no, there isn't. Apparently, really nice beaches with not many people on them are on the other side of the island, the opposite side. But to get there, there is taxis want 300 pesos to get there. And there is just, apart from the beach, there is nothing, meaning you have to bring your snacks, your drinks, your everything. And then if you want the taxi to wait, and the taxi will only wait for like 2 hours or so. So you'll have to, basically, again, it's a ripoff. If you want, I found out, as I was walking around town, I chatted to tourists, and I found out, some of them were quite savvy. There is a little minibus, several of them. It's called Colectivo, that goes around the island. It's just a regular minibus for local people to get around the island. So it costs, and it has set routes, obviously, but quite a few of those routes go all around the island and to the other side. And that one only cost 8 pesos. So you can basically, if you want to see the island, don't pay 300 pesos for a taxi. You can hop on the Colectivo, find out where the Colectivo stop is, and anyone will tell you. Hop in, pay 8 pesos, and you'll drive around the island. And heck, if they come to a final stop somewhere on the other end and they want another 8 pesos, well, pay another 8 pesos. And also I said, if you find the route that goes by the beaches on the other side, you pay the driver 20 pesos, and approximately you'll agree on the time, because obviously he won't come just for you, but he'll time it. So around that particular time, like say 3 hours later, plus minus 10 minutes, he'll stop again and get you back. So for 20 pesos, you can do that if you want to do that. I wasn't particularly inclined, quite frankly. So that, and the island itself, it's a nice island. It's beautiful water. It's, but it's just like the rest of the Mexico, what I'm trying to say, I don't see any particular reason to go all the way there. There is nothing special. My personal opinion, again, it's very subjective. It doesn't mean that, everybody else would want to do the same. If I do that kind of trip again, I'd rather go to Cancun. because that's another thing. The flights that go to Cozumel, there is like generally like with my American thing, it's one flight a day really. And there are more flights that are going to Cancun. Cancun also Southwest flies to Cancun. So I would personally book, again, because I don't need that much, I'd book separate airfare. I'll book a separate hotel because we stayed for one night because our flight got all messed up. We stayed in Cancun and I stayed at the hotel zone at Westin for that one night. And in the morning we could see it's a nice long beach. You can walk around all you want because that's what I like. I like when I go someplace where there is a water, I like to take nice long walk barefoot on the water's edge. It's really actually really good for your well-being, for your feet, for your overall body. And I like to walk for a couple of hours at a time. So you can imagine 53 steps each way. Just, yeah, it was just back and forth thing. Anyhow, so I would go to Cancun, book everything separately, have my meals either in the hotel or around in the restaurants. There are so many restaurants in there. It's just ridiculous. And then from Cancun, there is a bus that goes Playa del Carmen if you want to see another beach. And then if you really want to see Cozumel, I'd say rather take a day trip. So from Playa del Carmen, there is a ferry, well, several ferries. They go pretty much every hour, I think, or every hour and a half, but it doesn't matter. You take that ferry to Cozumel, take Colectivo, walk around and see what Cozumel is all about, and then come back. There is absolutely no reason to spend the entire trip there. That's what I would do. Now, about the quality of the food, as I mentioned before, with all the package, buffet obviously was included, but they also had restaurants, three different a la carte restaurants. They were included in price, but there was a trick. You have to make a reservation, and reservations go fast, that's what we didn't realize. Like, we arrived on Wednesday and the reservations are only taken in that one location by this one employee between, I think, 12 and 3. That's the only time you can go and make a reservation in any of the a la carte restaurants. And some of the reservations were gone 2 days ahead. You go in and they're like, no, nothing for tonight, nothing for tomorrow. The next available is 2 days from now. So if you decide to do all-inclusive, which, like I said, and if you enjoy your food, if you travel with a companion or if you travel with children, it is a good deal. It definitely is. But as soon as you arrive, if it's before 3 o'clock, run in there and make all your bookings for your stay, for your entire stay, and then you're all set. They have somewhat upscale place that overlooks the ocean. And again, when I say upscale, remember it's all inclusive. So take it all with a grain of salt. But, the food, I'm not going to complain about the food. It was okay, it was fresh. Having said all that, my being from Las Vegas, us here in Vegas, I do understand we are a bit spoiled. It's very hard to impress us with a buffet. We have absolutely mind-blowing, fantastic buffets, and even our average buffet is really, really good. So, those of you who are from Las Vegas, to give you an idea of what that buffet is for all-inclusive package, I'm gonna say realistically, right on the level of the Gold Coast, no higher. So if you know what, because Gold Coast buffet, it's not a bad buffet, but it's not Bellagio, let's put it that way, right? So yeah, that's exactly what you're looking. Gold Coast level and not quite as extensive. But having said that, the food was definitely fresh. Everything was fresh. It was very obvious to me, and especially my girlfriend, she cooks. She is quite accomplished cook. And she agreed, she goes, no, the food is very, very fresh. She wasn't necessarily all impressed by what was all available, but, it is what it is. So you definitely won't starve. Alcohol is available. There are multiple bars throughout the property, and they're happy to bring you drinks. You can go to the bar, order your drinks. Yeah, that's if you drink on a holiday, you enjoy your drink quite a bit, then it's definitely a good deal. I don't drink much. It was a holiday, so I maybe had, 2-3 drinks a day, but yeah, I never touched that mini bar. I'm not a beer drinker, so there was that. Also, the size of the beach reflects on the fact of how many available chase lounges are there for you to lay out. Same around the pools. They have several pools. They actually have one main pool in the middle of the property. They have another one infinity pool overlooking the ocean, and on the other side another infinity pool overlooking the ocean. But because everything is kind of compressed, it's not huge. There are limited number of those Chase lounge chairs for you to sit on while you're enjoying your pool or your beach. So what happens is you need to be prepared as early as you can in the morning. You need to go out there wherever you want to be seated and put your beach towel or your beach bag on the chair, secure the chair. Good thing, people respect that and no one's gonna move it. So you can do it early in the morning and then go have your breakfast and whatever and then come back and they'll be waiting for you. However, if you wait till like 10:30, 11, you're not gonna find any available Chase lounges, and I've seen people actually carrying those around to a different like pool or beach or location within the same property. Like I saw those girls, I thought they were leaving and I said, "Oh, can I have the chair?" They're like, no, we're taking it with us because obviously that's all the chairs they have. So, excuse me. That's that. Again, it's not good, bad, or different. It's just you need to be aware of the fact. Don't necessarily, and I know it sounds mean, but don't necessarily listen to recommendations of those people who appear to be employees of the hotel, because like I said, mostly the ones who want to help you are the ones who sell timeshares. It's absolutely no doubt, and in fact one of them admitted it to me, they get, because you wear with all inclusive property, they put that little plastic bracelet on you to identify that you, A, you belong there, and B, you're entitled to all this free food and drink, and that you don't take it off ever throughout your stay. It stays on you. So when you go into town or to different places, they know exactly, and the name of the property stamp on it, they know exactly where you came from. And so these people get commissions for sending you to these different places. Like I can tell you, these people did not tell me about Colectivo for 8 pesos. They were pushing their taxis for 300 pesos. And taxis are doing quite nicely in Cozumel. And there is no Uber or Lyft in Cozumel. No, they wouldn't let it happen. Even in Cancun, it's a bit tricky, which I found out. That's a side note, but that was interesting. Very shortly after I came back from Mexico, I was driving for rideshare here in Las Vegas. And I had a Mexican couple, they were going back to Mexico, they were visiting here. So we strike up a conversation, and he told me, because I asked him, I said, I went to Cancun and Cozumel, there is no Uber. He goes, not on Cozumel, but he says, in Cancun, yes, there is, but it's really tricky. Like when you order one, the driver will call you and say, hey, I'll come to this point, and then I'll come out and pretend like we're friends, and you just were waiting for me to pick you up and whatnot. And that's because of the taxes. Taxis really, really don't like Uber and Lyft, and I'm assuming Uber drivers get in trouble. But see, if you speak Spanish, that's all nice and well. Someone like me, not gonna work. A, I don't speak Spanish. B, I stick out like a sore thumb in Mexico. It's very clear I'm a tourist. I mean, there is no mistake in the fact that I'm a tourist. So no Uber for me. It's a bit of a taxi mafia in there. So overall, as you can see, it all depends on your personal circumstances, preference, and what you're used to. Once again, if you travel with a companion together, sharing a room, if you like your food and drink, if you have kids with you, then yeah, definitely all-inclusive is a good deal. If you're like me, honestly, no, like I would not done it. And as far as Cozumel goes, beautiful island, it's absolutely lovely. But yeah, give some thought to the size of the beaches, the availability of everything, and decide whether or not you want to spend your entire holiday in there. Hopefully this was helpful. When I get time, I will definitely write review on TripAdvisor about that as well, because I like to help the community. I read a lot of reviews from TripAdvisor, so I kind of like to give back. But hopefully this was helpful, and definitely I do like Mexico. It's awesome getaway, especially from this side of US. It's a nice quick getaway. You really relax, you enjoy, easy going. But beware when people say, oh, it's dirt cheap. No, Mexico is not dirt cheap. They're well aware that you come in there with US dollars and whatnot. And so just, kind of understand what things cost. Like I can tell you, I walked around town, and in the regular restaurants, your average meal, your average entree or main cost about anywhere between $9 to $15 US per plate. So, not to say it's crazy expensive, but I wouldn't call it dirt cheap either. It's not like it's in Thailand or whatnot. So that's that, and hopefully you enjoyed it, and I am hoping it was helpful. Have a nice day, everybody.